Hey everyone, and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Kristen and I love to craft. Today we are going to be using our brand new magnetic hoop on our embroidery machine to make some fabric letters. Let's go ahead and get started. We will be using some stabilizer, some fabric, some felt, and also our embroidery machine. The first step we need to do is iron out our fabric, so let's go ahead and do that. I do have a cutting mat here, and I'm just going to take a beach towel and put it on top. This is the fabric that we will be starting off with today. I am using just a regular house iron, nothing special. I do like to make sure that it is on the steam setting, that way that it could get all of those wrinkles out. You can also use like some wrinkle release spray. I know that that works, but I'm gonna go ahead and iron this out and I will be right back. I got the majority of the wrinkles out. I'm not too worried about the little tiny fine lines, but we will be using a brand new metal magnet hoop, and so I just want to go ahead and kind of cut strips of fabric, that way that I'm cutting enough and I don't have to go back and iron again. So I'm just going to kind of set this up here like a template, and I'm going to take some fabric scissors. If you are going to invest in a good pair of fabric scissors, I definitely recommend these. These are the Fiskars brand, and they look like this, and they have the ridges along the side. But I will have them linked down in the description box below, so don't forget to check it out. But let's go ahead and just cut a few strips, and it cuts the fabric like butter. I mean, it just glides right through. So now that we have that cut, I'm gonna go ahead and cut out a few more strips, and I'll be right back. I am now done cutting all of our fabric, and I think I cut out way too much, but it's always nice to have extras. And I also went ahead and put our letter designs on a flash drive. I'm going to try to keep my address covered, but I was sent this in the mail, and I will go ahead and link it down below. This is a magnetic embroidery hoop, and this is what it looks like whenever you open up the box. It does have all of the instructions here, and let's go ahead and take it out of the package. You can purchase this hoop from embroideryhooping.com. They do have tons of magnetic hoops. Alright, so here it is completely out of the package. Now these are magnetic, so it just kind of clamps on there like that. It does come with several magnetic pieces. I'm going to go ahead and take all of these off. And then it does have this plastic piece here. It does have little grooves that you can line it up to make sure that your design is lined up and centered on your hoop. Since this is a jumbo hoop, it will be a split design on your flash drive. If you are using Embrilliance, make sure that you are using the jumbo hoop setting. Whenever we are using the magnetic pieces, we need to make sure that we are spacing them out evenly and then going in on the corners. So let's go ahead and get some stabilizer and also a piece of fabric, and let's start hooping it. For the first color of our design, we will be using the tan one. Okay, so we have our hoop, and we're also going to be using some tearaway stabilizer. This is currently felt. I'm just going to go ahead and cut this down though while I'm thinking about it. And then I will show you guys the tearaway stabilizer. Again, you can get that from Amazon or any sort of craft store like Hobby Lobby. I did used to get mine at Joann's and Amazon. It was just easier. But this is the Tear Easy, and it is a soft, lightweight tearaway stabilizer. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up. I do like to keep this with the package because it does have instructions on the inside, just in case I ever need to reference that. And I'm just going to cut a piece as big as the hoop. Alright, so we have our hoop piece, stabilizer, felt, and then we have our piece of fabric. And we are just going to smooth that out. Now, according to the instructions, we are going to put 4 pieces down. So I'm going to take one along this edge, one along the center of this edge here, one at the bottom here. Again, smoothing that out. And then we're also going to put another one down here on this edge. just like that. All right, now we need to make sure that this is all the way back towards this little bar here. And I'm just going to gently pull it, make sure that the fabric is pretty tight. And now we are just going to add a couple more pieces along the corners. So I'm just going to add one right there. Let's add a longer piece right there. And while you're doing this, you can also be pulling your fabric to make sure it stays pretty tight. Let's put another one in this corner here. And I'm not sure if we are going to use all of the pieces, but let's just try to get it on as best as we can. This is my first time using a hoop like this, so this is kind of like trial and error. And then let's head on over to the embroidery machine. Okay, so we have our Brother PE800 embroidery machine here. I already inserted the flash drive or thumb drive, whatever you call it. I am also going to open up the top here, and I like to keep my serial number in here. I'm not gonna show it, but this is for whenever you are doing embrilliance, so I just like to keep that with the machine because I always lose my notes and stuff. For this project, we will be using this color. It's almost like a cream kind of color thread, but let's go ahead and put it on the machine. Whenever you are threading your machine, you always want to make sure that your presser foot is lifted up. So on the back side here, there is a little lever, and you just flip it up. So it's right here, and we're just going to pull it up, and it lifts up that presser foot. So I'm going to put the little opening here on the machine like that, and then I'm going to take our thread. These are numbered up here, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. So we are going to just take the end of our thread, start at the 1, go down to 2, over, all the way down, and we are going to stay to the right, bring it over to the left, and then up here you also want to stay to the right as well, and then go right back down. And then we are at 5 currently. We are going to go over here to 6, and then to 7, and then we are going to go to 8 right here, which is a thread cutter. So it just cut the thread like that. So once we cut it, then we are going to lower our presser foot, and then this step right here is 9, so we are just going to push it down and it thread our needle. So now we don't have to put the thread through the needle and use our glasses and strain our eyes. We don't have to do any of that. It did it for us. Okay, so let's go ahead and lift that presser foot back up, and then we are going to turn on our machine. It does have a little switch over here. Okay, so now our embroidery machine is on, and we are just going to touch the display here. And it says, the carriage of the embroidery unit will move. Keep your hands, etc. away from the carriage, which is here. And you want to make sure that you have plenty of space, that way that your hoop does not hit your wall or your window or anything like that. So now we are going to press OK. Now it's asking me if we want to press OK to recall and resume the previous memory, and we do not want to do that. So we are going to click cancel. And now we have just our general display. If you click down here, it does have an icon for your flash drive. We are just going to click that. It takes a little bit for it to load, so we are just waiting on that. And then you will need to find your embroidery design. I already have some loaded up on my flash drive that are not for this project. So I'm just going to click through here, and then I'm going to find the design that we want. So since this is a split design, we are going to start with our first letter, which is A. And I did split these letters up to where it is going to be 4 colors rotating. So we are going to start off with the tan, then we are going to do another color, and then we're going to rotate those 4 colors. So let's go ahead and click our first one, which is AE. Then we are going to click set. And we are going to click OK. And then 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 And then we don't need to do anything with it. We're going to click Edit End. And you can move it, rotate it, whatever you need to do. I don't want to do anything with that, so we're just going to click Embroidery. Now, with a split design, it automatically comes with a black outline. You can't remove it unless you skip a color. So we are going to skip a color here, and we are going to click the needle minus and plus sign, and that just skips a color. So we're going to click the plus sign here, and we're going to click OK. So we completely skipped the black outline step. Now we are going to put our hoop on the machine. And here's our hoop with our fabric, our felt, and our stabilizer. With a multi-position hoop, you will have 2 brackets here. So on your first position, you'll need to do the first set of brackets, and then for your second design that you pull up in your embroidery machine, you will go to the second set of brackets. So for the first one, we are going to go with the first set of brackets here. And on the embroidery machine, there are 2 little circles here. You are going to insert that on your 2 brackets. And this right here, you can push back. That way it's easier to put your hoop on. So I'm just going to lift it up, push that little tab back, and push it down. And now we have our hoop on our embroidery machine. So now we want to go ahead and start our embroidery machine. We're going to lower that presser foot again, and we are going to click this green button. Whenever this is green, that means that it is good to go. If it's red for any reason, it probably means that your presser foot is either lifted or you don't have any bobbin thread, you don't have a needle in, or things like that. So definitely make sure that your light is green, and we are going to click go. Okay, now that it's done, it says finished embroidering. We are going to click OK, and then we are going to back out of this design. And then it says OK to cancel current pattern, click OK. Now we're going to go back into our files within our flash drive, and we are going to click on the next set of letters. So we are going to look for the one that starts with an I. And here it is. So we are going to click Set, Edit End, Embroidery, and of course we're going to click that plus sign to skip over the black box. And we are going to lift up our presser foot, and we are going to press this little tab back to release the hoop from the machine, and just gently pull up. And we are going to move to the back 2 brackets back here. So that just means that we need to slide up our design. Hopefully this is a little bit better of an angle, but we were just on these 2 brackets. We are going to move to the back 2. So we're just going to pick up our hoop, pull back this little tab right here, and then we are going to put it on the machine. Okay, so now we are going to lower that presser foot again in the back, and we are going to click go. Okay, so now it says finished embroidering. We're just going to click OK. We're going to raise that presser foot from the back, and then we are going to go ahead and take off our hoop from the embroidery machine. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but this is our design here. I'm gonna go ahead and move us back over to the cutting table. That way that we can cut around the letters. So we are back here on our cutting table. I'm now going to take off the magnetic pieces. Now be careful with these because I don't want you to like pinch your finger if you get this one. But I'm just gonna go ahead and take all these off and set those to the side. And now we have our design off of our embroidery hoop that fast. That's the #1 thing I really love about this. Okay, now let's get to cutting, that way that we can actually see what our design looks like. Now I'm just going to cut along the bottom here, pretty close to the design. And let's go ahead and cut up the side. And look how much scrap fabric that we have left over. That is going to be good for like key fobs and things like that. Now I'm going to cut up the side of the A, kind of slanted. And then we are going to go straight across the top. Okay, here is our design. Now I just want to cut, I think, straight up the E. And then we will kind of cut at a diagonal on this A here. And now we are getting to the point where we need to use some smaller scissors. So I'm going to trim up those tiny little pieces of thread. And I'm not sure how this is going to work, but we are just going to try to cut upward here and then across. For this part right here, we are going to fold it in half, cut a little slit in it, and then we are going to just kind of cut around it a little bit. You can't really get in there with the bigger scissors. And let's see, my mom actually just bought me some scissors, but I have not opened them yet. They are actually the non-stick scissors. So that means that she has been watching my videos. And I'm so thankful because she got me those for Christmas. So I'm very excited to start using those whenever I'm working with card making and, you know, things like that. All right, so this part of the A right here, I'm gonna try to cut up a little bit. I just really don't want to cut into those threads. Okay, and here's what our A looks like. I think that the top could be a little bit better right there, but this is how it looks, and that's what the back looks like. You can always pull off that stabilizer. I'm just going to leave it on there. But now let's go ahead and cut up the other letters as well. So I'm just going to go straight down between these two here. And then for this one, this is going to be cutting it pretty close, so we're going to be extra careful. Looks great. And then for the M part here, let's cut straight down. All right, and then for the little pieces here, I'm definitely going to take my smaller scissors to get that part open. So we have our A, our M, our I, and then we need to work on the E. These are so much fun to make. I didn't realize how easy that this would be, but that embroidery hoop really saved time because all that you're doing is just applying the magnetic pieces instead of having to tighten it and keep adjusting it. So I really think that I love that embroidery hoop. Okay, so now that we have our letters, I'm going to go ahead and finish up the other sets. Now, whenever I get done, I will bring it all together and we will see exactly what all that we have. I know it's kind of hard to see the letters on these pattern fabrics, but I have embroidered everything. And now I'm going to go and pick up my boys, but I'm going to cut this out in the car line. That way I'm not just sitting here on camera cutting things out for you guys. So I'm gonna go ahead and head to the car, and whenever I get back, I'll show you guys the final product. It has taken me a couple days to film this video just because I've been so busy with the boys and readjusting to going back to school. But I have officially finished our project that we have been working on. These are the fabric letters. So we have A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, And I did make a Z, but I'm pretty sure that my son took it. So that is the alphabet that I made. It was super easy. I'm so excited to let my little one have these. That way that he can practice his capital letters. So thank you all so much for tuning into today's video. I hope that you guys enjoyed it just as much as I did, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!